Now, presented in digital widescreen.
Tonight on Live at 5, exporting Illinois' carp problem to China. But first, reaction to the governor's decision to close facilities across the state. Good evening, I'm Ashley McNamee. State Treasurer Dan Rutherford disagrees with Governor Pat Quinn's decision to close 5 state correctional centers and 2 juvenile centers, even though the legislature passed a budget with enough money to keep them open. Rutherford says his biggest concern with the plan is safety. News 25's Joe Bennett joins us live in the newsroom with more on the impact these closings could have. Joe?
Ashley, Governor Pat Quinn is moving forward with his original plan. That's coming up tonight at 6. For now, reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Joe Bennett. Ashley.
Thanks, Joe. Meanwhile, state lawmakers are also still debating how to curtail the public pension problem. According to a recent Pew study, Illinois ranks dead last in funding its pension liability, now worth billions of dollars. Now, the General Assembly may be looking to shift the cost of teachers' pensions from the state to local school districts. According to reports, Governor Pat Quinn says the impact on property taxes would be imperceptible. The regional school superintendent for DeWitt, Livingston, and McLean counties disagrees.
It is a real concern because, you know, most of our districts are maximizing their local revenue streams now, and combine that with reduced state support, there really is no place to turn.
State Senator Dave Kaler says no official plan is in place. Coming up tonight on News 25 at 6, find out why he says local schools should be getting some skin into the game. With his Attorney General Eric Holder facing a citation for an alleged contempt of Congress, President Obama today declared executive privilege. He's denied the release of documents demanded from Holder, but that's just heated up the controversy over Operation Fast and Furious, guns, and what Republicans are calling a cover-up. Steve Handelsman has the latest.
President Obama made the move this.
I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Capitol Hill.
Mitt Romney is preparing to meet this weekend with dozens of top Republican fundraisers and party stars at a private retreat. The gathering will take place at a mountain resort near Salt Lake City. Among those attending will be the figures mentioned as possible Romney running mates, including Tim Pawlenty, Jeb Bush, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, and Condoleezza Rice. 2008 party nominee John McCain will also be present. They'll be joining more than 100 top Republican financial backers and strategists. Well, testimony ended today in the Jerry Sandusky sex abuse trial, and the jury could begin its deliberations as soon as tomorrow afternoon. Sandusky's defense rested today without the former Penn State football coach taking the witness stand. Though Sandusky did not testify, his interviews and letters presented during the trial made him a pretty potent witness anyway, at least for the prosecution. The defense struggled to blunt the prosecution's case and suggested Sandusky's 8 accusers made up stories or were urged to do so. Defense witness David Hilton, a friend of Sandusky's, told the court he was intimidated by police investigators, saying, quote, "I felt like they wanted me to say something that wasn't true," end quote. Hilton and another defense witness both described meeting Sandusky as youngsters, being invited to the Sandusky home numerous times for sleepovers, and both remembered Sandusky as a father figure. Jurors have been told to report at 9 a.m. and expect to be sequestered until they've reached a verdict. For years, county and state officials have been trying to find a way to manage the Asian carp that have invaded Illinois waterways. Today, Peoria County officials held a meeting to discuss remediation options, including using the carp to produce fish meal or hog feed, or to sell it to China. Currently, the State Department of Natural Resources is offering Asian carp as meals to feed the hungry, but one fisherman says there are simply just too many.
You heard what I said earlier. We took out 5 semi-loads, and I shipped them out on a Friday. And Saturday, that was at 6 o'clock, I left for home. And Saturday night, my foreman called, and we had 5 semi-loads back in the plant.
Fisherman Rick Smith says shipping Asian carp to China is a viable option, but it can cost about $8,000 a load. Still ahead on Live at 5, 2 well-known companies have teamed up to create a health app with an Olympic theme. Also ahead tonight, why more American households are reverting back to the antenna to watch TV. Looking outside right now through our Road Watch camera network, a bright view there of Maine University near Bradley. It looks hot outside, and we're about an hour away from the official start to summer, but it certainly felt like summer already today. Let's get a first check of our weather with our chief meteorologist, Chuck Collins, in the Weather Center. Chuck?
Ashley, I got my noisemaker and my hat ready to go.
Welcome back. In your consumer news, you can now share your health goals with friends on Facebook, along with some help from Olympic hopefuls. Facebook and General Electric have teamed up to bring you the Olympic-themed app Healthy Share. It's free and it gives users health challenges inspired by Olympic hopefuls such as basketball player Kevin Durant and soccer player Alex Morgan. The idea behind the app is to get people to share their fitness goals and inspire their friends to do the same. And speaking of the Olympics, you'll be hard-pressed to find airfare to Europe this summer for under $1,000 round trip. But Fare Compare has two important tips on how you can save. They say to avoid non-stop flights and to try to fly midweek. Airfare analysts say add-ons like high fuel surcharges and taxes are the real villains of the current Europe airfare pricing. And although oil prices are declining, do not expect airfare prices to decrease with it. Well, it looks like more and more people are watching TV for free these days. With rising cable bills and a weak economy, many folks are catching their shows on the tube by using the classic antenna. According to research firm GFK Media, nearly 18% of all U.S. households with TVs are watching old-fashioned broadcasts delivered for free. That is more than 20.5 million homes getting channels over the airways rather than paying for cable or satellite. Still ahead on Live at 5, drinking while pregnant. A new study says yes. We'll have all the details. Plus a lesson on sunscreen for one group that's skipping the lotion altogether. Well, you could sure feel the heat out there today. It felt like summer for sure.
Yeah, we felt it all spring long. Summer officially arrives at 6:09. I think it's more of a psychological thing that summer's officially underway for most of us.
Yeah, I was kind of miserable today. The humidity, you could feel it finally.
Exactly, and that'll ease up. We'll be back to normal in the mid-80s just as we start getting hot. We'll kind of back off a little bit, but still good swimming and boating weather out there. And a little rain tonight, but little the key word. Let's go outside, see what's going on.
All right, thanks, Chuck. In your health news, a new study shows pregnant women may be able to consume up to 8 alcoholic beverages a week without harming their developing children. Doctors, however, are still quick to say abstaining from alcohol is still the best practice. Danish researchers evaluated the drinking habits of over 1,600 pregnant women. They then assessed their children's IQ at the age of 5. Researchers found children whose mothers had 1 to 8 drinks a week did not perform worse on IQ or other brain function tests when compared to children whose mothers did not drink at all during pregnancy. However, experts say many other measures of development were not included in this study, and they say the best and safest practice remains avoiding alcohol altogether. Of course, we want to know what you think. Do you think it's safe for women to drink in moderation while pregnant? Tell us on Facebook or head to CINewsNow.com to answer our poll. And a new study from the Skin Cancer Foundation finds that men need a lesson in sunscreen on this first day of summer. In a survey, nearly half of all men say they never use sunscreen. Nearly 3/4 say they do not know what to look for when it comes to suspicious spots on their skin. Experts say men over the age of 50 are more than twice as likely as women to develop and die from melanoma, which is the deadliest form of skin cancer. Up next on Live at 5, what your body is telling others. We'll discuss it this week's Dr. Joy coming up next. Nightly News is next. First, some of the stories coming up on News 25 at 6. We'll take you on a tour of the Pere Marquette Hotel as renovation is safely getting underway within the building. Also, the Rod Blagojevich scandal will not go away. This man arrested today accused of paying bribes and kickbacks to physicians for patient referrals and filing false federal income tax returns. Well, those stories and more coming up tonight at 6.
It's 90 right now, and summer officially arrives at 6:09 p.m., actually awaiting the arrival of summer. It's just one of those
technicalities.
Things. That's right.
All right, that's it for Live at 5. NBC Nightly News is next. Good evening.
Bye-bye.